Hi, my name is Alicia Klump, and I grew up in the 80s. So for my 11th birthday, I got a record player. It wasn't a brand new fancy one, and I knew it was used, but the gleam in my dad's eyes when my parents gave it to me was Dolby stereo love. I started my record collection that birthday and got my first LP, and it was new. Ripping that clear plastic thin wrapping off of Amy Grant's collection album was magical. While other kids were blasting Slippery When Wet, I was joyfully harmonizing Christian pop in my basement bedroom. And by harmonizing, I mean it was like a joyful noise. Song 3 on side B is Father's Eyes. It was an inspirational favorite, the lyrics which echoed my own feelings. As long as I can have one wish, I pray that when people look inside my life, I want to hear them say, she's got her father's eyes. Eyes that see the good in things when good is not around. Eyes full of compassion, seeing every pain, knowing what you're going through and feeling it the same. The only reason that a song is written about God this way, the only reason that we can talk or sing about God as our Father is because of Jesus. Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane calls out, Abba, Father. In the Gospel of Mark chapter 14, verse 36, Jesus cries, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Please take this cup of suffering from me. Yet not my will, but yours. Now, chapter 14 is full of events. Jesus has savored dinner with Simon the leper. He's had expensive perfume poured over his head, symbolizing burial preparation. It's time for the Passover, and he's broken bread for the last time with his dearest, closest friends, and he shared the sacred communion for the first time. He predicts the betrayal and denial from these same close friends. His holy cry in the garden is uttered in anticipation of Judas's arresting kiss, being ushered in before the Sanhedrin, prior to Peter turning his back on him, and ultimately the road that will lead to the cross. But right in the middle, like literally in the middle of this chapter, verse 36, right in the middle, in the dark agony of a lonely night, Jesus knows that the only thing to do is pray. Jesus trusts completely in the love relationship he has with his Father. Abba, Father. This intimate name of God is an Aramaic expression reserved for children and their father, a term too familiar to be used in prayer by Jewish standards. This prayer, whispered on bended knee, forever alters the way that we relate to the creator of the universe. In a word, the Word made fleshy the Father-Son relationship between God and himself, and for us too. It's a declaration of love along with Jesus' generous, extravagant obedience that makes this privileged prayer ours too. Abba Father is only used 3 times in Scripture. First, it's spoken here by Jesus, who reveals what it looks like to have a love relationship with God and what that looks like lived out. Then Paul, captivated by Jesus' love, writes in Romans chapter 8, verse 15, "For you did not receive a spirit that made you a slave again to fear, but you received the spirit of sonship, adoption. And by him we cry, Abba, Father." And then a third time, we hear it in Galatians chapter 4, verse 6. Paul writes, "Because you are sons and daughters, God sent the Spirit of his Son into our hearts, the Spirit who calls out, Abba, Father." Paul explains in challenging and encouraging ways the good news of our inherited freedom. Freedom in love, freedom from fear, and freedom to live. So when you find yourself in the middle of pain, loneliness, worry, rejection, and suffering, remember that Jesus has been there too. And when he was, his eyes were on Abba Father, so that we might trust and know our Father's eyes. In the book Ragamuffin Gospel by Brendan Manning, he shares an illustration that depicts the trust we are gifted because of Jesus' trust in God. It's a story about a house on fire, a 2-story home. The family, the mother, the father, and several kids are on their way out. And at the last minute, the youngest little boy tears away from his mom and runs back upstairs. And then, standing in front of a smoke-filled window, crying like crazy, his father's outside and shouts, "Jump, son, jump, I'll catch you." The little boy cries, "But Daddy, I can't see you." "I know," the father says. "I know, but I can see you." Whatever you're going through, whatever you're in the middle of, may you have the humble courage to lift your eyes to Jesus' Abba Father and know that your loving Abba Father sees you.